after midnight on 1020. So my video on Saturday was taken down. Yes. Finally, my throat did clear after the unfortunate pizza incident of last night. Yeah, that's kind of like my Achilles heel, is pizza. Yeah, to me, pizza is like the ultimate pleasure indulgence, just about. Maybe, is it better than sex? No, but is it better than drugs? Most definitely. Is it better than... Is it better than alcohol? Most definitely. Yeah. Yeah, pizza. But that's also my Achilles heel, so yeah. All you'd have to do to me is get the bottle of whiskey, order a pizza, and then I'd be done. It'd just be whiskey and pizza and I'd be gone. But I'm gonna get back on the wagon today. Back on the wagon train, as they say. I don't even slip up that much anymore, but occasionally. Yeah. I have pretty strong willpower when stuff isn't around. So when the donuts aren't there, then I'm good. Then I never go get any. But like if stuff is around, that's when my willpower kind of starts to diminish. So the YouTube Google Alphabet censorship was not over with, and I thought it was, my video of today was taken down. I thought it might have been about, that I was a Trump supporter, Trump voter, and making anti-Kamala Harris videos, stuff like that. Anti-leftist or anti-communist videos, anti-establishment videos. And I thought left tech didn't like that, the lefties. And I thought that's why they took the video down. But no, it said, we took your video down because it was a warning about medical misinformation policy. I didn't think I violated it. They said anything that is medical misinformation, it's misinformation, disinformation again. What they say for anything that's true that people say that they don't like. So the fight for freedom against technocrats and autocrats and elites is long from over. It's just beginning. So the battle for the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights is just heating up. We have elites that not just want to be wealthier than us and rule us and control everything. They also want to control the story. So it said medical misinformation could harm others if so they're very sensitive about the technocrats, the totalitarians. They're very sensitive about talking about vaccines, which the censorship, I would say, was heavier around last election cycle with Biden-Harris. So they didn't want people talking about plagues or vaccines, COVID-19, coronavirus. SARS-CoV-2. Yeah, they didn't want people talking about that. So my channel got a warning and my video got taken down. And but oh, they hate it. They hate it. They hate it. Specifically, they hate people talking openly, freely about vaccines and the suspicious origin of the coronavirus from Wuhan Virology Institute. They hate the big tech and the lefties hate pattern recognizers, not conspiracy theories, but let's call ourselves pattern recognizers. They hate pattern recognizers. They hate people like me. They hate photographic memory savants. They hate people that notice patterns in what they're doing, all the crimes that they're committing. The World Health Organization, the globalist, Vanguard, BlackRock, the global elites, the bicoastal elites, the Democrat Party. They hate when you expose them, you know. And you don't always have to be Julian Assange or Edward Snowden, but they just hate being exposed for their evil, wicked plans of the military, industrial, pharmaceutical, technological, media, state propaganda complex machine. They hate the machine. The system itself hates being exposed for what it is. So they hate truth. They hate truth, justice, in the American way. So and all I was saying is that isn't it weird that a lot of the things that are coming true from the James Bond novels by former British intelligence, naval intelligence officer Ian Fleming, the creator of the 007 James Bond series, of which I'm a big fan, and I read a lot of the novels, and I was thinking to myself, I've seen a lot of the movies, I've read a lot of the original Ian Fleming novels, and I thought to myself, wow, look at all this stuff coming true from this thing. It's like the Democrats and the globalists, they get their ideas from like these geopolitical spy thriller novels and stuff like Tom Clancy and Ian Fleming, and they get their ideas from George Orwell, 1984, and Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. I swear. I was just recognizing that like the Russians putting nuclear weapons into space to destroy satellites. That's very much like GoldenEye, right? The 1994 30-year-old film with Pierce Brosnan. It's very much like the plot line to that James Bond movie. And there's lots of plots in the James Bond series that are like, hey, that's actually happening. It's kind of crazy. Or that there were similar kind of supervillain plots by Bill Gates and wealthy, evil. There's real Dr. Evils and evil organizations out there for sure, without a doubt, in the world. I mean, the military-industrial complex itself is an evil. So a permanent armament industry, as President and General Dwight D. Eisenhower would say, would be a threat to American liberty. And he was right. Pollen is outrageous lately. You could call it appalling. The appalling pollen. Pollen is appalling pollen. Yeah, it's bad. Me and my mom are sneezing like crazy because, well, we have the same genes. Well, at least half. So you always have half of your mother and your father's genes. Though I don't steal my mother's genes. Whew. Good one. Or you see a girl, I'd like to be in those jeans. Wah wah. it's kind of sad to see former free speech, that people that made their livings off of free speech and American liberties and rights. It's a sad thing to see like Howard Stern sell out when he used to be like the shock jock, and people that kind of they made their careers off of freedom of speech and having liberties, and now they're like just pure, I'm gonna suck Satan's cock and I'm just gonna do what the establishment tells me to do and what the globalists and what the global world order tells me to do. I'm just gonna follow the line. I'm just gonna toe the line. I'm just gonna do what the technocrats and the bureaucrats tell me what to do. It's sad. It's sad. But it is what it is. So if anybody was wondering why that video went down, started to talk about the World Health Organization, the vaccine, COVID-19, coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2. Not really, it wasn't really a conspiracy video, a global conspiracy video. I wouldn't even call us conspiracy theorists. I'd call us pattern recognizers. That's better. Pattern observers. Especially if you got really long, detailed memories, like a photographic memory, like if you're a savant, and then so you have a really long memory. So it's easier to put the puzzle pieces together when you have that sort of memory. You can put all the little details, like start to form a picture, in your head. So eventually all the pixels, they form a picture in your mind. The power of the human mind is, I think, often underestimated. Yeah, I read the story about the guy he was trying to go to an Ivy League school, and he used the AI to cheat on his paper. Would I ever have to cheat on AI? No, I have a pretty firm command of the English language, so no, I wouldn't have to. Would I be tempted to? No, not really, because they tell you when you're in college, don't plagiarize or we'll flunk you out, or they could fucking expel you too. They could expel you from the institution. Yeah, they tell you in the syllabus, they tell you in the rules, point blank, right there. Although I didn't go to college when they had AI was out, AI Chat GPT and stuff. So Google Gemini and Microsoft Copilot and so on. Yeah, I'd like to think I wouldn't be tempted to say, I like to speak with my voice. I like to write with my voice. So if I'm in, and I don't want to get expelled from the school. Yeah. I can make an A without robots and shit. So this is how confident I am in the language, in the English language department. So that's not just training, but that's also confidence, personal confidence, experience. Doesn't mean I'm the best at it. It just means I can do it, right? That's just all that means. Or I have done it. Made an A on my government abortion paper. Creative writing was an A, right? Yeah. Government 1 and government 2, history 1, history 2, and then creative writing, yeah. Oh, American literature, A. Yeah. I should have stayed in world literature because they had all the hot girls in that one. But it was like at eight in the morning. Oh, they had this Russian one, this blonde Russian one that was just fucking tits. Oh man, I should have stayed in that class. That's some rockin' fucking babes in that. Fuck. The Russian girl was like, "Oh, I like your perspective on all of these subjects." It was world literature, and it was very good. It was a very interesting class because it talked a lot about myths and legends. Should have stayed in that one. And yeah, it was fucking chock full of fucking girls, just pretty young hot babes, just like fucking all over the place. You're like in Booty Titty City, huh? You were in, yeah, sort of like take me down to the paradise titty where the grass is green and the girls got big titties. Oh, won't you please take me home? Yay, yay. Yeah, that was a good one, huh? Slash and Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses, Paradise City. I didn't even know that was a real place, like until I found out it was like Paradise City, California. Thought they made it up, Paradise City. Eden City or something. Heavenly City. What's another? Elysium. No, Valhalla. There's other words for it, huh? Paradise. Ecstasy. Yeah. But if somebody offers you a drug called Paradise, say no. So the stakes for American Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Western freedoms, Western civilization have never been higher in this election between totalitarians, leftists, globalists, and the American people. So never before has good and evil forces since World War II been at the brink of erupting into internal and global battle over the character and the flavor of the future world. So, what kind of world will the future be? And who will win and who will lose? Never have the stakes been this high. Yeah. So, I guess if somebody said, "Are you a constitutionalist?" say, "Well, if that, if this term constitutionalist, if that means, do I believe in the pure interpretation of the founding documents of the United States of America, the Bill of Rights and the amendments, the yeah, the First and Second Amendment, and so forth, then yes, I am. I guess you could call. I mean, if you want to call people ists and isms, that's up to you. You know, sure. I don't really label it because I don't really call people constitutionalists. I don't call myself a constitutionalist. I call it just being an American citizen, basically, is what it is. So, the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, those are, to me, they're like almost biblical in nature in terms of their bedrock foundational principles of the United States of America. They're not. It's not optional. You know, freedom isn't optional. I mean, Google, Alphabet, and Microsoft and Apple Corporation might have other ideas about that, and globalists, and maybe the Democrat Party has different ideas about how flexible the U.S. Constitution is or the Bill of Rights. To me, it's not. It's not just whoever has power can change rules of law. Yeah. So to me, America is by, for, and we the people, and that's not negotiable. That's period. That's like that's the unmutable characteristic. That's the defining document and characteristic of the United States of America is the U.S. Constitution. So to me, that is the supreme law of the land, not Joe Biden, okay, or Kamala Harris. To me, who runs this country isn't the World Health Organization or globalist, atheistic, satanic cabals. So I'm not run from a one world government. Okay. And that it doesn't matter what Google Alphabet thinks about that. It's just the truth. We're not run by a one world satanic Luciferian cabal. And we will refuse to be. And so that's what the Donald Trump Make America Great Again movement is really all about. At its core, at its essence level, it's a resistance, it's a rebellion. Not very much different than the rebellion of 1776, except it's not a violent overthrow. At least not yet at this point. Yeah, I mean, I would always, kind of adopt a Gandhian approach, which is the best approach against a tyrannical system, which is to defy the system openly, but not violently. So always, from a Gandhiistic, a, uh, Mahatma Gandhi type resistance against imperial tyranny. So it's always a nonviolent protest. It's always a nonviolent resistance. It's more about the message and less about causing damage, or doing violence or causing stress or. So I apply the nonviolence into almost all areas of my life. So if there's like a problem at home, I don't just start smacking people. It would seem easier at times. If you just went full tilt into violence, and it would almost seem like I'm tired of I'm tired of my cousin Ray. Why don't I just fuck him up? You know what I mean? Like then he'll get the point. Or like I don't like my Uncle Bob. He's he irritates me. Why don't I fuck him up? Maybe that seems like like a quick solution, but then violence causes pain and stress, and not just on the person that you're hitting or being violent too, but it also causes you stress, and then you get bodily harm or injury, and then you get assault charges, then you go to jail, and it's all a bunch of shit. And you got fines, and you got Uncle Bob can't walk anymore and stuff like that. So it's a big shit show for nothing. So it's better to do nonviolence, because not just for the sake of self-preservation, but also just for the peace. Yeah. Unless you're in a situation, that calls for violence, like if a whole bunch of Chinese communist or Hamas terrorists all paraglide or parachute into your neighborhood and start shooting people. Well, that's different. You're under attack. So in that case, it's your duty to defend yourself and your community and your family and all that, obviously. But So the solution, the nonviolent solution, is voting this cabal out of power. So they lose power. That's the best way. So it's a peaceful solution, and you hopefully, and then you have a chance of accomplishing your mission, your duty, to get these technocrats and these one world government people out of power. These communist loving Karl Marx, George Orwell, 1984 loving, satanic worshiping people out of power. So, well, on the weight loss front, I got down to at its lowest, it was like 210, and then I just had something to eat, so it went back up to like 215. But all in all, I lost like 10 pounds. So we're on the right track. We just got to get back on track and finish. We got to. What does Joe Biden say? We got to finish the job, right? Yeah, just got to finish the mission. Yeah, man. After you know what? Yeah, I went basketball solo. I exercised and walked a lot and cycled this week to lose the weight. And man, I pulled some shit. Ooh, man. Ooh, them bones ain't what they used to be. Ooh. Man, especially like I used to, like in my 30s, I was like hooping. I was like hitting the trays, and oh, ooh, oh, oh, yeah. So I guess the full on basketball ain't really working out over 40 anymore, huh? The high velocity tennis and the yeah. So maybe I went too hard into the paint this week. Maybe I have the tendency to kind of go over to jump the shark, I guess, sometimes go too hard into the paint sometimes, right? Yeah, kind of overboard. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you don't want to do. Of course, when I try to be quiet, then that's when something quiet does not happen. So you got the shit. Want to do something quiet and then I cause a riot. Oh well. Good thing about having neighbors, I can just be like, well, that was the neighbors. Something like that. Yeah. Well, the kind of trouble with having wooden floors is not the ease of cleanliness. It's really the when you drop something, it's like it's like an earthquake. So that's the problem with that. I'll have to remember that the chair falls off when I try to move it next time. Well, I think with if Kamala Harris is elected, I think that the man's voyage to Mars would be, I think, probably delayed, and I think Trump's victory would ensure that a man would walk on Mars faster, or a person would walk on Mars, whatever. But probably a man, right? Would go to Mars. Yeah, unless Elon Musk doesn't seem like a wokester. He's gonna try to make. Well, we have to find a lesbian woman of color to be the first on Mars. To make a political statement about the diversity and inclusion of our society. Or some bullshit like that. No, I think it'll just be whoever's the most qualified astronaut, probably. No matter, with disregard to their ethnicity or their protection status or whatever they have in Google Alphabet Corporation, whatever they have in leftist DEI organizations. It'll come down to who are the best team, the best astronauts, the fittest, the brightest, the best of the best, the right stuff, and all that stuff. A long voyage, 6 months. Wow, 6 months being in a can, having to just rely on life support. Then you got to get down to the planet and then survive on Mars. Holy shit. Maybe they'll be mining on Phobos and Deimos, the Martian moons, fear and dread. Fear and dread, Phobos and Deimos. Yeah. Well, I guess the vaccines are still a verboten topic on a forbidden topic on Google Alphabet Corporation YouTube. Do I think there'll be regulation on big tech by Donald Trump? Regulation to stop calling truth misinformation or disinformation, or freedom of expression as misinformation, or matter of opinion as misinformation or disinformation. I don't know if there'll be any enforcement on Google, Apple, Facebook, Meta platforms, etc. I'm not sure. Yeah, Trump was already asked the question, is he going to break up Google Alphabet Corporation? And he kind of He's not really the kind of man that likes breaking up companies unless he has to, or banning companies. So, or punishing companies. He doesn't really want to unless he feels that there's a need to. So, definitely companies and social media, they're unfair monopolies. Their technopolies have to be looked at though by people in government if it's not benefiting the public. So if these companies are not following U.S. laws and the laws of the U.S. citizens, the law of the land, the U.S. Constitution. So if these companies are in violation of the Constitution, they're getting away with controlling speech because they're private companies. That's why. Because so right now they have a legal right to police speech on their platforms, but they may not always have that power and control of the story. So the people might have control of the story. The American people might have control of the narrative. Yeah, eventually one day, maybe, if they're broken up or punished. So we'll see. I'm hoping maybe Google Alphabet will be broken up. Yeah. And there will be freedom of speech on the internet, freedom of expression. So, yeah, protection for kids under 18, but freedom for everybody else using the internet. But Donald Trump is a free market capitalist purist. So we'll see, if he's going to actually do any punishment to Google Alphabet Corporation, Meta, Facebook platforms, Apple, Microsoft, and so forth, and the tech tyrants. See if there'll be any punishment to the tech tyrants and Amazon, etc. Will the tech tyrants be punished? Well, and their companies. They don't follow constitutional law in the United States of America. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what they fear. That's why they don't want Trump to be in the White House, because he's going to bring down the hammer, yeah, for the American people. Yeah, he's going to fight for the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and he's going to do it with a big hammer. We might go full Teddy Roosevelt and start busting up monopolies like Teddy Roosevelt did back in the day. Well, if you have too many monopolies, then what do you get? You get Cuba. You get a communist society that has no power. So, yeah, you just have you have a fucked up scenario like the Soviet Union or Cuba or Venezuela. So that's what happens. You'll just be like starving in the dark. And I know that the communist forces in this country and the Democrat Party want to have the ability to barter town us and turn off the lights and turn off the switches and turn off everything when they want to. I know that there are forces in the U.S. government in the Democrat Party that want to so bad to have all the power just to take all our power and just flip off everything and have it all for themselves. Yeah, I know. There's lots of these communist totalitarian folks that want to be able to shut down American liberties and freedoms, and they want to do it. They want to have it at their command, So they don't have the best interest of the American people in mind. And it's up to American voters and citizens to make sure that they don't get that kind of power over our lives because they have too much power already. We got to make sure that the United States of America never becomes Venezuela or Cuba. So it would be in the dark like that. With worthless fucking money and everything else. And the horrors of communism and socialism. That would, I mean, yeah, I don't think all the Russian girls in America are Russian agents, but that'd be a good way. Like, that'd be a great way to infiltrate America, right? Just send like a whole bunch of sexy babes and shit. Sexy blonde chicks and redheads and shit. Some hot femme Nikitas everywhere. Yeah, that's very James Bondian to send the hot babes to take out to gather the intelligence, huh? Clever. Yeah. Well, gonna go off to dreamland, go off to the land of the subconscious, and regenerate. And then we'll have 16 days to go until the election. Yeah. So here we go. This is ice water, not vodka. Yeah, gonna have a nice breakfast tomorrow. So, thanks for watching. If people were wondering why the video was taken down, I was just doing my thing, I was comparing James Bond novels with certain events in society, geopolitically, and I was having a fun time doing that because a lot of the James Bond plots to the movies and the Ian Fleming novels are very similar to today's events. Which I mean, I guess it would happen eventually because if you wrote enough stories about a global intelligence super spy, then that has to stop global evil villains all the time. That eventually one of these scenarios would come true, but maybe not the underground volcano layer with the sharks with the lasers on it or whatever. But a lot of the other things are surprisingly on the nose, very eerily similar sometimes. But it kind of reminds me of like people getting excited about, did The Simpsons predict the future? And it was like, well, there's no. I mean, I guess. I mean, writers are just, hey, wouldn't it be funny, if like, so they're writing all these like what if future scenarios. So eventually, if you did enough what if fictional scenarios, I mean, eventually, well, truth is stranger than fiction. Sometimes.